15 years driving a taxi in Detroit, and I thought I had seen it all. Drunks crying in the back seat, lovers running away down the sidewalk, people fleeing from the police. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared me for what stepped into my cab that early Tuesday morning. It was 3 a.m. when she appeared. Wedding dress soaked, veil torn, bouquet dead in her hand. She didn't ask for permission. She didn't say please. She just got in, looked at me through the rearview mirror with those shattered eyes and whispered, "Get me out of here." I hit the gas. Because when you drive at night, you learn how to read desperation in people's eyes, and hers screamed danger. Then she showed me the pictures, and what I saw in that crumpled envelope. My God. I understood why she was running, why the white dress looked like a shroud, why her hands shook while holding that bouquet like it was the last real thing she had left in the world. And when the black car started chasing us, I knew this wasn't going to be a regular ride. It was going to be a fight for her life. The rain hit the windshield when she showed up on the corner of Madison and 52nd. White dress soaked, veil torn, bouquet dead in her hand. She got in without asking, only said, "Get me out of here." I had seen everything in 15 years driving through Detroit. Drunks, addicts, runaway lovers, betrayed husbands, but never a bride running at 3 in the morning. "Where to?" I asked, adjusting the rearview mirror. She didn't answer, just cried, trembling. Her mascara ran in black lines down her face, staining the white satin of her dress. The red stoplight reflected on the wet fabric like diluted blood. I pulled away slowly. Detroit's streets were empty at that hour. Only the yellow streetlights, a few dark storefronts, and the black asphalt gleaming under the thin rain. The radio played softly, an old song, the kind you hear and feel something is about to break. "Did he hurt you?" I asked, looking through the mirror. She shook her head, but her eyes said otherwise. It wasn't the kind of hurt you see. It was the kind that bleeds on the inside. Then she pulled a crumpled envelope from the bouquet and handed it to me. I opened it carefully. Inside, photos. Him with another woman. Not just any woman. I recognized the pink dress from the wedding party. Her maid of honor. "I found it hidden in his suit pocket," she whispered. "An hour before the ceremony, I hugged him, felt the paper. I thought it was his vows. But it was these pictures." My stomach twisted. I'd carried plenty of broken people in my back seat. Shot, stabbed, hit by cars. But I'd never seen someone this destroyed without a drop of blood. "Does he know you saw them?" "He's looking for me, said I'm crazy, that it was photoshopped. But I saw the messages too." Her voice cracked. 3 years, my whole life, was a lie. She's been my best friend since we were 7. I looked in the mirror again and froze. A black car was following us, speeding up, high beams on, breaking every limit. "Is that him?" She turned and went pale. "Please, don't let him catch me." I slammed the gas. The taxi's engine roared as I sped down Gratiot Avenue. The black car glued itself behind us, honking. I could see the silhouette of the driver, a man in a suit, shouting something I couldn't hear. "He's going to make me go back," she whispered, gripping the seat. "He'll say I overreacted, that I'm hysterical. He did that when I found out he lied about where he worked. He did that when I found charges for an apartment he swore he didn't have." "How many times?" I asked, making a sharp left turn. "Too many. I always made excuses, always believed him." She wiped her face with the torn veil. "My mom died last year. Before she passed, she made me promise I'd be happy, that I wouldn't waste my life. And I promised," looking straight into her eyes. The black car sped up, blew through a red light. "Hold on," I warned. I turned into a narrow alley between 2 abandoned buildings. The cab scraped against the brick walls. The black car tried to follow but was too wide. I heard metal grinding against concrete, then angry honking fading behind us. When we came out on the other side, the street was empty. Just the rain and silence. She was breathing fast, hands shaking. "You okay?" I asked. I should have seen the signs, all of them, but I wanted so badly to believe. Her voice vanished. "You know what's worse? I rehearsed the wedding yesterday. Practiced how I'd smile walking down the aisle, how I'd hold his hands, how I'd say "I do" without crying. And now? Now I don't even know who I am without that lie. I drove in silence for a few minutes. The city drifted past the windows like ghosts. Red brick houses, old churches, closed storefronts. Detroit at night was like that. A graveyard of dreams still trying to breathe. "Where do you really want to go?" I asked. She stared out the window. "I don't know. I don't have anywhere to go. My parents are gone. My best friend was her. And everyone else I know was his first. You have any money?" "I have a card, but he'll see where I use it." I thought fast. "I know a place. An old hotel on Woodward. The owner doesn't ask questions. Takes cash." "I don't have cash." I looked in the mirror. She looked so small in that enormous dress. "I'll pay," I said. "Why? You don't even know me." "Because 15 years ago, I let someone go back. And she never came out again." The East Side Inn was the kind of place that ends up on crime reports. Peeling gray facade, neon sign flickering with half the letters dead. But old Murray, the owner, was discreet. And discreet was exactly what she needed. I parked in front. The rain had turned to drizzle. "Wait here," I said. "I'll take care of it." I walked into the dusty lobby. Murray was behind the counter, watching TV on a tiny screen. He knew me from the late-night runs. I always brought people who needed to disappear for a few hours. "I need a room." No registration, no cameras. He looked out the window, saw the bride in the cab, raised an eyebrow. $50 a night. I placed 320s on the counter. For 3 nights. And nobody asks anything. He took the money and handed me an old key with a tag. Room 7. "No breakfast?" "Don't need it." I went back to the cab. She hadn't moved. Just stared at her hands, the engagement ring shining under the weak streetlight. "Come on. You'll stay here a few days?" She stepped out slowly, the heavy dress dragging on the wet ground. We climbed the outside stairs to the 2nd floor. The hallway smelled of mold and old cigarettes. I opened the door to room 7. Simple. A bed, a table, a window with a torn curtain, but it was clean and safe. "Why are you doing this?" she asked, standing in the doorway. "Because someone should have done it for me." She walked in and sat on the edge of the bed. The dress spilled around her like a shredded cloud. I had everything planned. Honeymoon in Greece, names for the kids, a house with a backyard. I had even picked the kitchen color. She let out a laugh with no joy in it. "Yellow. Because yellow is happy, right?" I didn't know what to say. I'd driven wounded people, desperate people, people running from police. But I'd never seen someone lose an entire future in one night. "You want something to eat?" I asked. She shook her head. "Stay here. I'll be right back." I went down to the cab, grabbed the water bottle and the granola bar I always kept in the glove compartment. It wasn't much, but it was something. When I came back, she was removing the veil. Her hair fell loose, wet, sticking to her face. "He's going to find me," she said. "He always finds me. Not here. Not tonight." She took the water, sipped slowly. Then she looked at me, and I saw something break in those tired eyes. "I don't know your name." "Marcus." "Thank you, Marcus." "I'm Rachel." I nodded. "Rest. Tomorrow we figure out the next step." "Hey," but as I reached the door, she spoke again. "Marcus, you said someone should have done it for you. What happened?" My hand froze on the doorknob. The question lingered in the air like smoke. "Another night, another bride," I answered. "But she went back, and he killed her 3 months later." I closed the door. I went back to the taxi, but I couldn't start the engine. I just sat there, watching the light rain fall on the windshield, the drops sliding down slowly like tears. 15 years. 15 years since that night. Her name was Lisa. She got into my cab with a black eye and a split lip, saying she needed to get to the airport, that she was going to her sister's place in Seattle, that she finally had the courage to leave. I took her there, paid for her ticket, waited until she walked into the terminal, and 3 hours later, she called me, said he had begged, cried, promised he would change, that she was going to give him one more chance. I told her not to go. I begged, but she did. 3 months later, I read it in the paper. Found dead in her apartment. Strangled. I carry that. Every single day. My phone vibrated. A message from Murray. The groom's here. Wants the room number. My blood ran cold. I jumped out of the taxi and ran. Took the stairs 2 at a time. Murray was at the desk blocking the path of a man in a soaked suit. Hair messy, eyes bloodshot. "I know she's here. I saw the taxi," he yelled. "There's no one here," Murray replied, steady. The groom spotted me. "You, where is she? I don't know what you're talking about. Don't lie to me. You picked up my fiancée. She's confused. She doesn't know what she's doing. I need to talk to her." "She doesn't want to talk to you." He lunged forward. Murray stepped between us. "Move out of my way, old man. This is my hotel, and you're not coming in." The groom tried to shove Murray, but I grabbed his arm. "You've done enough." "You don't understand? Those pictures, they were a mistake. I love Rachel. We were getting married. I planned everything." "You planned to cheat on her with her best friend?" "It was weakness. I was going to break up with Jess after the wedding. Rachel didn't need to know." I felt anger rise up in me. "Get out. Now." "Or what? You gonna hit me?" "I'll call the police. You're kidnapping my fiancé." "Call them." He blinked, confused. "Go on, call the police. And explain to them how your fiancé fled her own wedding. How you chased her through the streets. How you barged into a hotel looking for her. Call." I took out my phone and held it out to him. He looked at the phone, at Murray, at me, and something changed in his face. The mask fell. What appeared underneath was cold. "She won't last on her own. A week, at most. She always comes back. Not this time." He smirked, the kind of smile that made me want to break every principle I had. "We'll see." He left. I heard the black car speed off, tires screeching on the wet pavement. Murray exhaled. "That one's dangerous." "I know." I went up to room 7 and knocked. "Rachel, it's me, Marcus." The door opened slowly. She had taken off the dress, wearing a white t-shirt underneath. Way too big on her. Her face washed, her eyes red. "He was here, wasn't he?" "He was, but he's gone. He'll come back." "I know." She sat on the bed, hugging her knees. I heard his voice, saying he loves me. And you know what's worse? Part of me still wanted to believe it. I sat on the chair beside the table. "That doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. My mom used to say love doesn't hurt. If it hurts, it's not love. Your mom was wise." Rachel looked out the window. The sky was starting to lighten, that pale blue of dawn that shows up before the sun. "What do I do now, Marcus?" "You decide who you want to be, without him deciding it for you. And if I don't know, then you figure it out, one day at a time." She stayed quiet for a long moment. Then she took off the engagement ring and set it on the table. "I need your help with one more thing." "What?" "I need to disappear. For real. He has my phone tracked. He has access to my accounts. He knows every place I go." "You have anyone?" "In another city," she thought. "I have an aunt. In Portland. We haven't talked in years, but she always said if I ever needed her, then call her, from a payphone, and ask for help. And if she says no, then we think of something else." Rachel picked up the ring, looking at the light reflecting off the stones. 3 carats. He spent a fortune. Said it was to show the world how much I meant to him. She closed her hand around it. All I ever wanted was someone who stayed, not someone who bought. She handed me the ring. "Sell it, and keep the money. For everything you've done. I can't. Please, I don't want anything from him anymore." "Nothing?" I took the ring. It was heavy, cold. "I'll sell it, but the money is yours. To start over." She smiled. The first real smile of the night. "Thank you, Marcus. Thank you for not letting me go back." And I thought about Lisa and all the times I wished I had done more. "This time," I said, "nobody goes back." 2 days later, I was at the bus station with Rachel. I had sold the ring at a discreet jewelry shop downtown, $6,000. Enough money for her to start over far away. Her aunt had answered. She cried on the phone. Said she'd been waiting for that call for years. That she had a room ready. That Portland was big enough for anyone who didn't want to be found. Rachel wore simple clothes we bought at a thrift store. Jeans, a gray top, sneakers. Her hair tied in a ponytail. No makeup, no jewelry. She looked like a different person. She looked free. Bus to Portland leaves in 20 minutes, I said. She held the small backpack we bought. Inside, a few clothes, documents, and the $6,000 in cash. I don't know how to thank you. You don't need to thank me, just don't go back. I'm not going back. She looked into my eyes. Marcus, can I ask you something? Sure. Why do you do this? Driving a taxi at night, helping people you don't even know. I took a deep breath, because I couldn't save someone I loved. So now I try to save whoever I can. The other bride, Lisa? I nodded. She was my sister. Rachel covered her mouth. Marcus. She got into my cab that night, running from him. I took her, paid for the flight, and when she went back, I did nothing. Thought it was her choice, that I couldn't force her. But I should have forced her, should have stopped her, because 3 months later, she was dead. It wasn't your fault. It was, because I gave up too easily. Rachel took my hand. You saved me. Not because you have to save everyone, but because you're a good man. And your sister? She'd be proud of you. I didn't trust my voice to answer. The loudspeaker announced the bus to Portland. It's time, I said. She hugged me, and for a moment I felt like maybe, finally, Lisa could rest. Take care of your life, Rachel. Build something beautiful, something real. I will. I promise. She picked up the backpack and started walking, then stopped, turned around. Marcus, if you ever come to Portland, look for me. I'll introduce you to my aunt. She makes the best coffee in the city. Maybe I will, she smiled. And this time, it was a smile full of hope. I watched her climb onto the bus, choose a seat near the window. She waved, I waved back. The bus pulled away, and I stood there, watching it disappear down the highway, carrying away a woman who had finally chosen herself. I went back to the taxi. The sun was already high. Detroit was waking up. Honking cars, people rushing, life moving in its chaotic rhythm. I turned on the radio. An old song was playing. The same one from the night Rachel stepped into my cab. And for the first time in 15 years, I didn't feel heaviness. I felt peace. Because this time, I didn't let anyone go back. This time, I did enough. I drove through the streets of Detroit, the city that watched me break and watched me try to piece myself back together. And I thought maybe that's what we do. We carry our pain, but sometimes, just sometimes, we can keep someone else from carrying theirs. I stopped at a red light. A woman ran across the crosswalk, late for something. A man sold newspapers on the corner. A boy rode a bike down the middle of the street. Life. Moving on. My phone rang. Unknown number. Hello. Marcus? It's Rachel. I'm on the bus. I'm already out of Michigan. And I just wanted to say thank you for believing in me when I didn't. Take care of yourself, Rachel. You too. She hung up. I drove. And for the first time in a long time, the night didn't feel scary. It felt full of possibilities. 3 months later, I received a letter. Portland postmark. Inside, a photo. Rachel smiling in a cafe, standing next to an older woman with gray hair. Behind them, a sign. Rose Cafe. Open. On the back, a handwritten message. Marcus, I opened a cafe with my aunt. We painted the walls yellow, because yellow is happy. And for the first time in my life, I am too. When you come to Portland, coffee is on me. Always. With love and gratitude, Rachel. I placed the photo on the taxi's dashboard and kept driving, because the night was still full of people who needed help, and I was still here, ready.